In an age of auto-tune and fleeting digital fame, where algorithms dictate what we hear, one voice cuts through the noise like a crack of thunder over a quiet prairie. Willie Nelson. His recordings, some made over half a century ago, feel startlingly present, as if they were laid down just yesterday. This isn't just nostalgia talking. This is the sound of enduring artistry. On Spotify, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain has been streamed over 180 million times. On YouTube, grainy fan-uploaded clips from the Johnny Cash show or shaky cell phone videos from recent concerts rack up hundreds of millions of views. And you scroll through the comments, "I'm 23 and this destroyed me. I don't even like country music, but this is soul. He's singing about my breakup." This is the miracle of Willie Nelson. He transcends genre, generation, and geography. His music isn't classic country. It's classic emotion, universal, unfiltered, and absolutely undeniable. In a world where we curate perfect lives on social media, Willie's raw honesty is a revelation. He never hid his pain. He stood on stage and sang about it. And in doing so, he gave us all permission to stop pretending. His voice doesn't need enhancement. It doesn't need a remix. It simply is thin, trembling, and devastatingly real. For decades, long before wellness was a buzzword, therapists, grief counselors, and hospice workers have used Willie Nelson's music as a tool. Not to cheer people up, not to offer easy solutions, but to do something far more profound, to validate sorrow. A 2021 study in the Journal of Music Therapy found that patients dealing with heartbreak responded more deeply to Nelson than to any other artist. One participant, grieving a divorce, said, "I've played Always on My Mind every night for a month. I didn't want to feel better. I wanted to feel like I wasn't crazy for missing him. Willie made me feel sane." Another, battling loneliness, found solace in Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground, saying, "It's like he walked into my life and sang about what he saw. This is the true function of art, not to distract from our pain, but to bear witness to it." Willie never sang to fix people. He sang to say, "I see you. I've been there. You are not alone." He became our accidental therapist, his voice a form of sonic empathy. His image and music are woven into the very fabric of American pop culture. In The Sopranos, Tony Soprano plays crazy while driving, lost in a moment of quiet, masculine introspection. In Orange is the New Black, a character sings on the road again in a prison talent show, turning heartbreak into humor. In The Crown, even Princess Diana finds a connection, listening to After the Fire Is Gone during a moment of profound loneliness. His fashion, the bandana, the braids, the simple denim shirt became a uniform for Americana style, influencing everyone from Ralph Lauren to Chris Stapleton and even Post Malone. His ranch in Luck, Texas has become a pilgrimage site, a shrine to a man who turned a private sanctuary into a public celebration of music. Willie Nelson didn't write all his hits, but he was a genius interpreter. He could inhabit a song and turn a well-crafted lyric into a visceral, personal confession. Think about the opening lines of Always on My Mind. "Maybe I did untreat you quite as good as I should have." It's not a song. It's an apology, delivered with such quiet intimacy it feels like a private whisper. Or the devastating simplicity of Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground. "I can fly no higher. I'm grounded by the pain." It's a lullaby for a broken heart. These songs are minimalist masterpieces, and Willie's voice gives them their soul-crushing weight. He mastered the poetics of heartbreak by never overstating it. Willie's recordings are more than just music. They're cultural artifacts. They are a national archive of the American soul. They document the emotional lives of the working class, the evolution of country music, and the epidemic of heartbreak in a post-war world. When future historians want to understand the emotional landscape of our time, they will listen to Willie Nelson. The Library of Congress agrees. Having added Red-Headed Stranger and Stardust to the National Recording Registry, cementing their cultural and historical significance. But for all the sorrow in his songs, Willie had a wicked sense of humor. He loved performing joyful anthems like On the Road Again. He danced on stage, joked with his band, and recorded gospel tunes that lifted the spirit. This duality, the heartbroken man and the joyful father, made him human. He wasn't just a vessel for our pain. He was a man who laughed, loved, and lived, even when it hurt. And that legacy now lives on through his children. Talented musicians in their own right, like Lucas Nelson and Micah Nelson, carry the torch. As Lucas once said, "My dad wasn't perfect, but he was real. And he loved us." That's what matters. In one of his later interviews, Willie was asked what he wanted people to remember about him. He paused, then said that I sang from the heart, that I tried to be honest, and that I loved my kids more than anything. When asked about fame, his reply was simple: "I don't care about being famous. I care about being heard." Recently, a University of Texas study found that Willie's voice triggers a higher empathy response in listeners than any other rural vocalist. Why? Because the micro-variations in his pitch and tone scientifically mirror the speech patterns of a person in grief. His voice doesn't just sound sad, it behaves like sadness. This is the science behind the soul. When the day comes that Willie Nelson's voice falls silent, the world won't just lose a singer, it will lose a witness. A man who saw the worst of life and still found beauty in a song. A man who could silence a stadium with a single, trembling note. A man who proved that truth is always more powerful than perfection. But Willie Nelson will never really leave us. He lives in the strum of a guitar on a back porch. He lives in the silence just before the final note of Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. He lives in the tears of a fan hearing On the Road Again for the very first time. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a saint. He was a man broken, brilliant, and brave enough to sing his truth. And in doing so, he became immortal. Thank you for watching. If Willie's music has touched your life, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more stories like this.